Hey everybody, it's Chris Stafford with the Max Show. That's Massive Abundance Exposed, where we expose the secrets of badass entrepreneurs all over the world. And we have got the most amazing entrepreneur that we're going to expose the secrets on, Mr. Dave Jenks. I mean, have you heard of Dale Carnegie? Have you heard of Keller Williams? Have you heard of the Free Enterprise Warriors? I mean, how badass is that name alone? I can't wait to start talking to Dave, interview him, ask him all kinds of great questions, find out what his secrets are. But before we do, make sure you get over to massiveabundanceinc.com, sign in, get yourself a free goodie there on the homepage, and let's get on with the show. Hey, you're not going to believe it, everybody. We have Dave Jenks in the house. How you doing, Dave?
I'm doing great, Chris. Good to be here with you.
Hey, I'm really looking forward to having. It's an honor that you're here, and I have so many questions for you. But before we get started, you have to tell us a little bit about your background, and then you have the most fascinating website that we're definitely going to drive a lot of traffic to davejenks.com. Everybody has to check out this website, and then talk to us about the futurist on a free enterprise mission. I love that statement. How powerful.
Well, that's my personal statement. That is what I am. I think I've realized that looking back on my career. I've had several different careers. So I was in higher education. I was in fundraising and development. I got into sales and marketing. I moved into the real estate industry, 30 years in the real estate industry, Century
Wow.
21, Prudential, and Keller Williams. Wrote what is the best all-time selling book in the history of real estate, The Millionaire Real Estate
I
Agent.
love that
It
book.
still sits at number one. Still sits at number one
Hmm.
on Amazon. And now, 5 years ago, I formed Free Enterprise Warriors with two
Hmm.
partners of mine, and we are now taking a very strong message to entrepreneurs of all professions.
Mm. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, and what is the your MO? Are you trying to accomplish with the Free Enterprise Warriors?
Well, I think it's helping people build businesses. What people fail to understand is, and it comes really out of Michael Gerber's The E-Myth,
Hmm.
just because you like something and you're good at it doesn't mean you can turn it into a business. And
Hmm.
I have a lot of people who I call professional hobbyists. They're good at some technical thing.
Hmm.
So, I'm doing teaching here in Boulder, Colorado at the Boulder Digital Arts
Hmm.
organization, and I have a lot of digital artists, people who are really good at videography and WordPress and websites and sound systems and all of that, and they really want to do it as a profession, but they don't know how to turn it into a business.
Hmm.
And I even find a lot of people who come into real estate and go, oh, I really love showing homes and helping people buy homes and all that, but wow, I wish I could do more business. And we go, well, you need to read The Millionaire Real Estate Agent or the book Shift, because you really have to learn how to turn your interest and your passion into a business. And really, that's, Chris, what we do at Free Enterprise Warriors. We teach the 5 business disciplines, and we help people turn their interest into a business.
Wow. I mean, so now do people have to physically be there in Boulder with you, or can they do this online? How does that work?
Well, there's really 3 places
Hmm.
that they can go. One is they can just go to freeenterprisewarriors.com, and
Hmm.
please, they're welcome to go there right now. Although at the end of the month it's going to be taken down.
Hmm.
There is a free audio book. I did a lecture series called Free Enterprise Warriors: The Path of Courageous Entrepreneurs, which
Hmm.
covers the 5 disciplines
Hmm.
and what it means to why the mindset of a free enterprise warrior, why
Hmm.
we selected that. And so I think it's really, it's not an MBA, it's an SBA, a smart business approach, right? And you can learn the whole thing in there, and it's a free download. If they'll go on
Hmm.
to Free Enterprise Warriors, that audio lecture series, which I've just had published and will go up on audio on what's it name? There's an audio books
The iTunes?
website. Anyway, huh?
iTunes?
No, it's part of Amazon, and anyway, it doesn't matter.
Kindle. Yeah, whatever.
We'll think of it.
Yeah.
And the point is that it's going to go up there, and then I'm going to charge for it. So right now, through the end of the month, it's a free download off of Free Enterprise Warriors. And the reason I say that is they can go there. That's number one.
Hmm.
Number two is if I come and speak anywhere, like I am at the Boulder Digital Arts, if they're in the Boulder, Denver area, they could come here. And the other place is I'm an affiliate. I'm actually building the university of an organization called Master Networks. So if they look up masternetworks.net, and this is a business-to-business referral organization with chapters all over the country, and I'm doing training for them, and they have on their website me presenting the 5 business disciplines.
Okay, this is really good to know, because so the freeenterprisewarriors.com, and then there's also davejenks.com. And we're going to drive people
to
both.
DaveJenks.com, yes, is my personal website, and truthfully, I put a number of blogs up there,
yes.
But I haven't done much actively on it recently. Now, the place I've done stuff very recently is on freeenterprisewarriors.com, and I have a regular podcasts on there, 14, 15 minutes long, called Warrior Talk. And those are fun, and there's a whole 3 years worth of episodes on there that people can download and listen to, and then that's where they can download the book, Chris.
Great. I mean, so we'll get everybody to the freeenterprisewarriors.com. I mean, it's definitely going to be to your benefit, whether you're a real estate agent, whether you're an entrepreneur, what have you. But, one of the questions I'd like to ask, Dave, is, you are just the consummate entrepreneur. Your background, I look at your bio, and it's truly amazing what you've done, what you've written, what you've accomplished. What is your why? Why are you doing this? What is your mission or your purpose or your North Star, whatever you want to call it?
Well, early on in my life, it was to make a living, and support my family and do something worthwhile that paid money. So I always think getting paid is a big deal. I think it makes a venture worthwhile. So for me personally, I'm not a real volunteer guy. I mean, just to show you, I'm not. I believe even if I help a volunteer type organization, they're going to benefit, everyone is, and I should get paid for that. Now, I think that's an entrepreneur's point of view. Do what you love to do what you're good at, get paid for it, make sure you get paid for it. Now, once I got out of the institution, as I like the kid, the institution of higher education, and got into the world of business, which was really something my father was an anti-business guy, so I kind of had to overcome my early mental training to get into the world of business. I realized I loved it. So I'll just say the bottom line on this, Chris, is that I love people who have the courage to be entrepreneurs. And for me, that means they put it on the line. They know they have to earn their own way. They have to wear all the hats. They're accountable. And then, of course, they can achieve whatever they want to. And for me, originally, to me, there's nothing more entrepreneurial than the world of real estate, because you don't even get paid until the job gets done. And agents put in hours and hours and hours of time being helpful and information-oriented and serving people without getting paid. And then ultimately, when a transaction closes, they get paid. So to me, real estate agents and real estate brokers are the ultimate entrepreneurs. And I really spent a lot, 30 years helping them be successful. And I just want to take those messages over to the general world of entrepreneurship.
Interesting. It's so funny, Dave, because I advise, a number of real estate agents and real estate brokers. And, not a lot of them, but a number of them actually don't believe, or they don't think of themselves as entrepreneurs. Isn't that crazy?
Well, what do they think of themselves as? That's an interesting thing. A commission-based employee, maybe in some cases, when they work in a real estate company, even though they're called independent contractors, I find a lot of them have an employee mentality.
Yes.
And they're looking for someone else to give them direction. They're looking for someone else to give them leads. They give a lot of their commission to their broker because they think that so they're almost like they act more like an employee, right? Yeah. And I think that understanding there's a difference between being an independent contractor, which is just a compensation model, and being an entrepreneur where you really know that you're building a business that is your brand.
Right. Exactly. That makes so much sense. And speaking of entrepreneurs, I mean, again, you've accomplished so much, but all of us entrepreneurs hit bumps in the road. We all have various challenges that we have to overcome. What would you say is one of your biggest challenges in the last 30 years, and what did you do to overcome it?
Well, I think the two are always there for an entrepreneur. I think it's for everybody. It was there for me. One is freedom, and the other is self-doubt. In other words, when you're in an entrepreneurial thing and you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, when you're your own boss, I mean, that has a lot of appeal to it, but I will tell you it has a big downside, because that means that you can do nothing. and no one says anything. You don't have a structure that's holding you accountable toward activities and results. A great mentor of mine, Dr. Herb Greenberg, who founded Caliper, wonderful testing and assessment organization, he said, there's two things that determine whether somebody can work in an independent commission-based business. Number one is, can they structure their own time and activities? Well, there it goes. See, I have known so many people who they can't structure their own time and activities. They're undisciplined. They wing it. They do whatever they want when they want. Maybe they operate out of necessity, but they don't operate out of a plan. They don't organize their time, and they don't organize their activities. And then the second thing he said is that entrepreneurs or people, independent commission-based people, have to be able to establish a goal and make a sustained effort toward its accomplishment.
I love that.
And I find a lot of people in the business, two things. One is they don't have clear goals, and two is they're not making any sort of a sustained effort toward them. The second one gets to what I was saying, which is self-doubt. I think the biggest challenge all of us have, I had it big, was a lack of confidence and self-doubt, a lack of a willingness to be assertive and take charge and take risks and do what I feared to do, do what I was uncomfortable doing. I think anyone who's going to master an entrepreneurial set of skills always has to go and do what they're uncomfortable doing, and then that's how they learn to be good at it.
Dave, I just love what you're saying. But I want to come back to first I want to make a comment, because I agree with you so wholeheartedly when I'm advising realtors and I'm asking them, like, for instance, their marketing plan. What are you doing for marketing? And, and they'll do things for once or twice. They'll put an ad, or they'll do a mailing, or they'll do something, and they'll say, well, that doesn't work. And, it's just
exactly.
You've got to, I can't remember your phrase, but I always say consistent, be consistent.
Sustained. I think the word is sustained. You need to make a sustained effort. If you're going to do, let's say, a farming, you pick a geographic area and you want to be the dominant realtor in that geographic area, you are committing at the minimum to 1 year of at least once, preferably twice a month, communication to that farm area, along with holding open houses and making events. Before you start really seeing results, and it really takes, in my experience, 3 years before that results are sustained and good. And of course, by then you are the dominant broker.
Exactly. Now, going back to what you said earlier, now you said that one of the hurdles you had to overcome when you started was the lack of self-confidence. I'm sort of paraphrasing.
Yes.
What did you do specifically, though, to get over that?
Well, I'll tell you what I did. I went and I took the Dale Carnegie course. The Dale Carnegie course in public speaking and effective communications, or in communications and effective relationships, is a world-class course, and it allowed me to overcome my reluctance to speak in front of groups and to be more assertive, to take charge more in my life and not be afraid of other people's opinions, not to worry so much about what they thought of me, more to assert what I wanted to do. And that course, then, of course, I ended up actually becoming an instructor in that course. And then I think the second thing was, in my career in real estate, I reached this aha, and I know it led to the aha. It was just some feedback I got that I wasn't being assertive enough. I wasn't being take charge enough. I was trying to be too much of a nice guy, have everyone like me. And so I realized that to become a leader, particularly an entrepreneurial leader, I needed to take risks, and I needed to be bold. I needed to even push the envelope of offending people by being so aggressive and assertive. Now, because I have all those antennae, and most people do, I didn't really ever offend people, but I really did get more assertive, and it's amazing what happened after that. I mean, within 3 years, I became a regional director for Century 21, went on to become a divisional president, ended up being executive vice president of Keller Williams, all of these leadership positions, and I became a better trainer in the teaching environment, because when I was in charge of a classroom, man, and I was in charge of it. Nothing went on in that room that I didn't affect and touch.
I love it.
That's what you have to be.
I love it. That's great. That is a great story. Tell me this. You have a lot of experience in working with entrepreneurs and working in the real estate industry. Do you see like a common thread? If there was a problem, is there like a common thread throughout entrepreneurs or real estate agents that really sort of holds them back?
Yes. There are really two. One is that they're not learning based. 80% of people in real estate wing it. 80% of real estate, they may go to take the class they need to keep their license, but that doesn't help you build your real estate business. But they don't go to education. What I find is, and Gary Keller and I, as we were writing, found this when we ask ourselves what differentiates the top producers in real estate from the others, and they're learning based. I mean, they listen to programs like yours, Chris. They get training, they get education, they get it on a repetitive basis. They don't just say, oh, I took that course once. If it was a good course, they go take it again because they know that they'll be ready to learn something more, or they'll be ready to implement something more. They'll go back and reread the Millionaire Real Estate Agent 4, 5, 6, 8 times because every time they go through it, they are picking up something new. So being learning based is number one, and number two is setting up an accountability structure around you, something that helps you stay on track. Usually it's a consultant, it could be a mastermind group or a peer accountability partner, but it's some way in which they answer to somebody else. Even though they're in charge of their own life and their own business, they allow somebody else to hold them accountable, like a great coach would hold an Olympic champion accountable. No one was as good a basketball player as Michael Jordan, but he was incredibly coachable by Phil Jackson and his other coaches. So he set up relationships that would hold them accountable. And I'd say that those are the two things, being learning based and allowing themselves to be held accountable.
Yeah, I absolutely love mastermind groups. And I'm in 2 mastermind groups right now, but I love the fact that you say, being coachable and hanging out with people that are better than you, because when I first started in real estate, something like, my God, 22 years ago, I paid somebody $1,000 a month for 10 years to cut my learning curve.
Yes.
And it was just, everybody thought I was absolutely nuts that I did that. And it was the best thing I ever did.
What a smart investment. What a smart investment. I had a top agent in all of Century 21 upstate New York when I was there early in my career, and I was teaching a class in creative finance, and he came to the class and I said, Dave, you're the top producer in all of upstate New York for Century 21. What are you doing at this beginning class? And he said, Dave, I used to work for General Electric, and I know that they take 10% of all their revenue and put it into research and development. He said, in my career, I do the same thing. 10% of all my income and my time I devote to my own development as a business person, as a salesperson.
That's great. That's great. I love
Good lesson.
it. I want to switch gears here, Dave. And I mean, you're doing so many cool things with this, the Free Enterprise Warriors thing, which I absolutely I love that word warriors, man. That was brilliant.
Well, it's a good way, and I will tell you, if they listen to the first chapter of the downloadable audio lecture series, they'll get what I meant. But let me just say this, that when my partners and I put this together, we knew we wanted it to be about free enterprise. We love the free enterprise economic system. It has created wealth for everybody. I mean, we dedicate the book to the few, FEW, for Enterprise Warriors, the few who serve the many, because truthfully, the 8% of people that are entrepreneurs do serve the rest of the world. They just do, and they create economic opportunity and well-being for everybody. But the word warrior was key to us because it's an attitude, and it's an attitude of assertiveness. It's an attitude of courage. It's an attitude of willing to pay the price to build mastery in all the skills, the warrior skills. And finally, it is this understanding that historically, warriors are guardians. They're guardians of freedom, guardians of a culture, guardians of a civilization. They're guardians. So we're not talking about mercenaries,
right.
The ones who just go kill people for hire. We're talking about the true
on a higher
sense
level
of being a warrior.
I love it.
A higher purpose. That's right.
I love it. That's great. And I know we talked about DaveJenks.com, but DaveJenks.com also has. I still think it's a cool website. You have a great blog. I loved your current blog item on the no apologies. That was very cool.
Yeah.
But for all our listeners out there, there is a really cool little video, a short video, which Dave talks about the whole warrior concept, and I really love that a lot. But switching gears here. Mr. Dave, what is sort of like the next big thing on your horizon, the next big thing that you want to accomplish with your business?
Well, it's interesting because in many ways I'm in my encore years. right? So I'm 71 years old. I've had these wonderful opportunities to write books and teach courses and impact people and start something like For Enterprise Warriors. So now I kind of consider this my encore. It's like after I've done my regular gig, now I get up and play the song I really love,
Right,
right. And is my encore. So my encore is about being a light. Let my life be a light. Right, and the three words that stand out for me are enlightenment, encouragement, and empowerment. So anything I can do wherever I can that helps entrepreneurs and anybody to see their lives bigger, to act bolder, and to commit to a meaningful path, then I love to do that. So I'm turning the audio series into a written book, working with CreateSpace and Amazon to get that book published. And then I'm really looking for where people want the message that I have to deliver. So in a sense, instead of a lot of personal promotion, I'm responding to requests for me to come and help with ventures.
Great. Well, that sounds very exciting.
It is.
I mean, I love it because.
And the other thing is, and this is it. So somebody asked me, what has meaning in your life? And I said 3 words. I mean, it kind of occurred to me. I said curiosity, joy, and love. So I'm following my curiosity, understanding things that I'm just interested in. Number 2 is if it doesn't bring me joy, I don't do it. And the third thing is I just want to be in relationship with people I love. And that's it. Those are the 3 big things during my encore years.
I love it. That is so cool. It's so cool with what I always tell people. For me, myself personally, it's sort of like, if it ain't fun, it ain't getting done. That's my little
There you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a great way to lead your life.
I love it. Listen, the last question, because I always love asking this question of different top producing real estate agents, top producing entrepreneurs like yourself. And that is, you have a new real estate agent, brand new real estate agent that sits in front of you, is sitting down in front of your desk, and they ask the one question that they want to know from Dave Jenks, and that is, Dave, tell me the one thing that I have to do to be super successful in my business. What would you tell them?
I would tell them that don't do what other people are doing. Do not look around you in your office and do what the average person is doing there, because that will not get you where you want to go. So that being said, then you really have to go get where your sources of wisdom come from. And so I would say read The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. As a brand new agent, I'd say first read Shift, because this is more tactical. This is more the things you do to work with buyers and sellers and lead generate. And then the core of it is learn how to ask for business and attract it to you. Learn the skills of going out and asking for business and then doing the kind of marketing that attracts business to you. We give that general name of lead generation. So first it is, don't pay attention to the average. Go find the best answers from those proven sources. And the third thing is master the art of lead generation.
That is perfect. I love it. So you got your marching orders, everybody. Everybody's watching that. You better listen to Dave Jenks. Dave, thank you so much for being here. For me, what I love entrepreneurs and for what you're doing is really what it boils down to me in my own mind is that you are being in service. You are being in service to entrepreneurs, real estate brokers, and I am just so glad that you're doing what you're doing. I definitely want to stay in touch with you, man.
Good. We will, Chris. Thank you very much.
Dave, thank you for being here. We'll talk to you real soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
I loved talking to Dave. Was he the coolest cat? I mean, the experience that he has. And I just love the fact that if you really listen carefully and closely to everything that Dave's saying and talking about, he is doing this out of service to others. I mean, he is acting out of love and compassion. And it sounds like it contradicts this whole warrior, image, but it doesn't. If you really listen to what he's trying to accomplish, it's, he's using the word warrior on a much higher level. I just absolutely love it. Definitely let's stay in touch with Dave. Make sure you send me some love down below. Let me know what you think about Dave Jenks. And make sure you get to his website, which is freeenterprisewarriors.com. And it's an amazing website, all kinds of great information. And he's got some free goodies for you there. So make sure you check that out as well. Again, thanks so much for joining us today. My name is Chris Stafford with The Max Show. And may massive abundance be yours.